Hello guys and welcome back to a new video. In this video I'm going to cover how to solve two-step equations with negatives. Now when we solve two-step equations we want to isolate the variable, which means get it by itself. Basically we want to undo whatever is being done to the variable, that way the variable is by itself on one side of the equation. We do this by using the inverse or opposite operation. Keep in mind it is very important that whatever is done to the one side of the equation, it must be done to the other side. That keeps everything balanced and equal. So it basically just is almost the exact same thing as a one-step equation, but we just have to add one step. As you can see, from one step we have jumped over to two steps, so it's still very easy, but it just takes a bit more steps. So for our first example, oh yeah, and one more thing I want to mention. When we are working with negatives, we don't want to confuse negatives with positives when we're dividing or multiplying. So we want to specifically, very good, look out for our negatives and our positive numbers. So for our first equation, we have minus 6x plus 9 equals minus 15. Well, of course, the first thing we do is we're going to isolate our variable. To isolate our variable, we're going to start by getting rid of the 9. So inversing the plus 9. We do this by subtracting 9 on both sides. So when we subtract 9 on both sides, these two cancel each other out, so you're just left with minus 6x equals minus 15 minus 9. Well, minus 15 minus 9 equals minus 24. So as you can see now we just have a one-step equation left. So we already know how to do this, but I'm gonna do this with you guys so we can get this down. So what we do now, we need to get rid of the minus 6 to isolate our variable fully. We have a multiplication, so we're going to divide by minus 6 on both sides. Divide by minus 6. Well, these two again cancel each other out, so we are just left with our variable. Now minus 24 divided by minus 6 equals 4. This equals a positive number because we are dividing two negatives. And if you're dividing or multiplying two negatives, you will always get a positive answer. So for our first answer for the first example is 4. And of course, we can check this by plugging it in right here. So we're going to plug 4 in. So minus 6 times 4 equals minus 6 times 4 equals minus 24. Minus 24. Now we are going to add the 9 to it. So minus 24 plus 9, and this will equal minus 15. And as you guys can see, we have the correct answer because the two line up perfectly. Now on to our second example. For our second example, we have minus 5x plus 8 equals minus 17. Well, we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to divide, not divide, we're going to subtract 8 from both sides. So these two cancel each other out, so we are just left with minus 5x equals minus 17 minus 8. Well, minus 17 minus 8 equals minus 25. Minus 25. And now we're going to do this one-step equation. So basically what we do is we turn the two-step equation into a one-step equation and then we isolate our variable and do it like we usually do it. So now we're going to divide by minus 5 on both sides. We're dividing by both sides. So these two again cancel each other out, so we are just left with our variable. So x equals minus 25 divided by minus 5. Well, minus 25 divided by minus 5 equals 5, so 5 will be our final answer. Again, we can check this by plugging it in right here. So we're going to do minus 5 times 5, and minus 5 times 5 will equal minus 25, and we're going to add the 8 to this, and for our answer we will get minus 17. Again, this shows us we are correct because they line up perfectly. And let's go to our third example. Well, for our third example, we have x divided by minus 4 plus 3 equals minus 5. So, of course, the first step we're going to take is we're going to isolate our variable. So we're going to subtract 3 on both sides, like this. Minus 3 and minus 3. So of course these two cancel each other out, so we are just left with x divided by minus 4 equals minus 5 minus 3. So minus 5 minus 3 equals minus 8. Minus 8. And now we're going to do this. So what we're going to do now is turn it into a multiplication because we are inversing our division to a multiplication. So we're going to multiply both sides by minus 4 like this times minus 4. These two cancel each other out, so we are just left with our variable. Now we're going to times also minus 8 with minus 4. Minus 8 multiplied by minus 4 will equal 32. And 32 will be our final answer. Of course, again, we can check this by plugging our answer in, and we're going to do that now. So we're going to do 32 divided by minus 4 equals minus 8. Now we have to add our 3 to it, like this, plus 3, and this will equal minus 5. And as you can see, guys, again, they line up perfectly together, so this means our answer is correct. Now let's go over to our last example. So for our last example, we have x divided by minus 6 plus 2 equals minus 9. Again, we are going to start by isolating our variable by subtracting 2 on both sides, like this, minus 2 and minus 2. Well, these two cancel each other out, so we are left with x divided by minus 6 equals minus 9 minus 2. Minus 9 minus 2 equals minus 11, so this will be our next step. And next step will be timesing or multiplying minus 6 on both sides. Minus 6. Well, again, these two cancel each other out, so we are left with our variable. So minus 11 times minus 6 equals 66. And this will be our final answer. And again, we're going to check this by plugging our final answer in to our variable. So 66 divided by minus 6 will equal minus 11. Minus 11. Now we have to add 2 and our answer will be minus 9. And again, this shows us that we have the correct answer because they both are the same number. So this was basically the video, guys, on how to solve two-step equations with negatives in them using my method where we isolate the variable step by step till we get to our final answer. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, leave a like, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave a question in the comments, and as always, this was Mr. Mathz, and I'll see you guys in the next one.